We're actually counting on you, Steve.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Steve's like, I had the worst workout of my life this morning.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was pretty challenging.
Pretty bad.
Did you get nauseous? It's okay.
No. If I would have, then it wouldn't have been the worst workout I would have ever had. It was beyond that. I was just like, that would have been a good workout if I just got nauseous.
He got out of the machine and was like, I don't know if I can walk.
What kind of machine?
Yeah, what kind of machine is that?
This is supposed to help me.
All right, it's Thursday morning. Have you had your coffee yet?
Yeah, coffee.
Tell the truth. I don't think you have. I haven't had mine.
I had some creamer.
Me too. Yeah, I don't really drink
A
coffee.
little bit of coffee.
I drink creamer with my coffee.
I think
That's right.
I smelled some coffee when I was walking in here. Yeah, that was it.
I don't want to talk about what I had for dinner last night.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
No, we're not going to do that.
We're not doing that. All right, are you guys ready to go? Is
Yes.
MoneyLinc ready? Are the maniacs ready?
We
Here
are
we go.
ready.
It's Thursday morning. Good morning, all you maniacs, and those of you who are joining us live. It's time for MoneyLinc, brought to you by Interlinc, hosted by the crazy duo, the financial wizards themselves, Gayle and Steve.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to Thursday morning.
It's a new day.
Are you happy about the new day?
I am happy about the new day.
All
I mean,
right.
We're getting started here.
Well,
Yeah.
we got special guests today.
That's why I'm excited about today.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
get to interview.
Yeah. Now, everybody, we're going to be talking about Medicare today, which I know might, put you back to sleep. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to kind of make it entertaining. And for those of you, we talked about this before with financial planning. There's a lot of moving parts, and even though you might not be, in that age group,
Right.
Maybe your parents are and they're not watching, or or you have friends. And this is kind of really important. You might pick up some nuggets, important pieces where you can maybe pass that along to say, hey, you might want to watch this episode. Because when people retire, the job is stopped. And, they use that term, you're on a fixed income, and it doesn't really have any pizzazz. It's just a word.
Right.
And just think about when you were, a kid, maybe you got an allowance and you said you only got, $10 and that's all you got.
Right.
And once it was gone, it was gone. There's no
That's
more
right.
to fill that part. And you're like, oh man, but I really want this on top of that, and you can't
Yes.
afford it.
Yes.
Well, a lot of people, as they transition, coming down the mountain into that income planning phase, you really got to know your budgets. You really have to know what things cost, because it's a cash flow puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't. And one of the critical things is Medicare, is the health component of their financial plan.
That's right.
And what we've learned, and this is why we work with someone like Brandon, he's going to tell us about these processes and about himself, is you kind of come to the point that you think it's all the same. You just kind of see these commercials on TV or whatever and say, it's all the same. And it's not.
Oh, they're all different.
And sometimes you can end up paying more than what you have to, and still keep the same quality. But if you spend more, it's going to hurt something else,
Mm-hmm.
in their fixed budget.
Right.
And so it makes it more challenging for us to help them when another emergency might come into play, if this part was, too expensive or they didn't understand it right,
Mm-hmm.
as it's, and all those moving parts. So we hope you listen to this as we kind of go through this and why it's just massively important to get this right in a plan. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
we have Brandon Hager here with
Mhm.
Sherman R. Ross and Associates.
That's right.
His website.
Good morning.
Yeah. That's
yes.
right.
His
We-
website is needhelpwithmedicare.com, and you would contact him by dialing 940-781-0359. I do that every time. Let me try that again.
Let's try that again.
940-781-0359.
That's-
So, Brandon, thank you for coming today.
Well, thank you, Gayle, and thank you, Steve, for having me today.
So, can you make sense of this alphabet soup? The A, B,
Yeah.
C, D,
Well, one,
E,
maybe just
F,
kind
G,
of,
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
people might just know this. Sometimes it's nice just to kind of tell us a little background of yourself, just kind of see
Well,
if that
we're
can
going to
help.
get there.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah,
can,
get
we
right
can
into that
dive
news.
right into snooze
No, we're going to
fest.
get there. Snooze fest.
Put them to sleep right away.
I have an office here in North Dallas. There at Coit and Beltline. I get the pleasure of putting on Medicare workshops, which is pretty much just Medicare 101.
Mm-hmm.
I'm licensed in Texas and Oklahoma, so I can reach out, not too terribly far, but definitely like being here local. It's just a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
The local office is real nice. It has a nice monitor on the wall that you can kind of see everything I'm looking at. Got a dry erase board that's pretty big. You can kind of write down all the options that are there and kind of try to make sense of the alphabet soup.
Yes. And your seminars are on your website?
They are listed there. Any upcoming workshop you'd like to attend, you can call. You can actually register right there on our website if you'd like to attend.
Okay.
Make a reservation, and we'd be happy to have you.
Tell me about your upbringing and where were you born?
Oh, my goodness.
Where'd you go to school?
It's story time.
Story time. Well, once upon a time.
In a far, far away place.
Well, I grew up there in Wichita Falls, Texas, right up close to the Red River, south of the Red River, just to be clear. Some people say, Oklahoma? No. So, grew up there, went to Wichita Falls High School, graduated from there, moved on down to Denton, and did a little bit of college there at Cook County at their extension campus there in Louisville, and worked throughout the area. I got a job over there in Alliance Airport when it was brand new.
Oh, yeah.
That was
cool.
kind of fun and exciting. Just kind of did a whole lot of different things. Did some work in the Marine Corps, where I got to do a really cool job. Did some air traffic control.
Thank you for your service.
Well, you're welcome. It was an honor and a privilege.
And as you know, with that, and for those of you that are watching, just to let you know, and since I'm Navy, I'm gonna not make fun of the Marines, but you know, one it's hard, but
It's hard.
no, but all kidding aside, for those of you that may not know, when you have these to get into the service, you got to take these little tests called ASVAB tests, and to see how smart you are. And the Marines, they only take the ones that have the higher scores. And what Brandon was doing was just air traffic control. That it's like 1,000 things happening at the same time to make sure these things work right and these planes operate safely. And these aren't commercial jets; these are fighter aircraft. And so you gotta have a couple IQ points there to pull that off, or they won't kind of slide those controls over to you. So. Yeah, thank you for your service, Marine.
So even though he's got a southern
Thanks,
drawl, he's actually smart.
Yeah, it was so like, thank you for your service, Marine. All right. No, we're on the same team.
It's funny when I went to that recruiter, it wasn't really advertised.
That
they just
did that.
really asked, "Do you have a high school diploma?"
Oh no, I know, but they check that stuff, and they're not kidding.
So that was man, I loved it. I fit right into that. Man, it was great. I didn't get to see too much of the world. I had one of those jobs to where I was actually part of the station out in MCAS Yuma. So it's actually a center. So they had a whole lot of airspace, and once they get you trained up there, they like to kind of keep you as long as they can. Done quite a few other things. I've been business owners. Lots of different things. Like to travel, like to explore. Just so happened one of my travels out to West Texas in the oil and gas industry, come across Sherman R. Ross. And this is how I got introduced into the world of Medicare. He was on my crew out there, and he is a veteran insurance agent. And when he got left the oil field, he came back and said, I want to work with people my own age. And so he was already in Medicare, and he says, I'm going to specialize in Medicare. And he extended the invitation to me to come look at one of his workshops. He just said, I would like you to come check this out. And I don't know who's all watching, but I really didn't know much about Medicare other than my folks were just going on it and didn't pay too much attention other than I guess they're on Medicare. And so I go to this meeting not knowing a whole lot about nothing, the A, B, C, D, plan, part, all that. And what's funny is I watched him go over all this information, and these people kind of came in kind of a little wound up, concerned. And throughout that workshop, they're asking questions, and he's just fielding them, and you could just tell their demeanor just changed, that where they were a little bit more relaxed as they walked out. And I was thinking, man, what a service he is providing to these people. And I really just liked it. I really enjoyed what he did. It was just quite a service I thought he was providing.
Yeah.
So he asked me if I'd like to come be a part of his team, and I said, absolutely. So here I am.
Here you are. So tell us a little bit about what's Medicare Part A. What does that mean?
Yeah, this alphabet soup we keep
Yes,
on
we
hearing
keep
about.
talking.
So many letters.
Oh,
I
well.
mean, it's a government program, so I'm sure it's straightforward and easy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no.
I mean,
no.
if you just put confusing,
That's right.
and good luck finding the truth there. So, it's hard to talk about A without B.
Okay.
But Part A is nothing more than your hospital coverage. And with your hospital coverage, they come with big deductibles.
Mm-hmm.
The deductible for your Part A is $1,408
Now that's per person.
per person. This is for individuals. This is not group.
Oh,
And this is if you show up at the emergency room, or is it
Yep.
like you're in the hospital?
Day one into the hospital, whether you're going by ambulance, air ambulance, or you somehow stagger in there, whatever you got to do. Your Part A is your hospital, covers just your hospital stay as soon as you walk in that door.
And do they only cover to a certain amount of days, or it's just however long you stay?
No. You're getting the hard questions out
it's
there. up
right out of the gate. We're gonna put a spotlight on you pretty
Oh,
quick
my
here. Said,
goodness.
where were you on this date?
Actually, it's broke up. Yeah, spotlight. That day 1 through day 60 is what that deductible covers.
Okay.
Whether you're there a week, 20 days, or 2 months, that's what your part would be that $1,408.
Okay.
Now, beyond that, you start getting into day 61, say day 61 through day 90.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope you don't have to be in the hospital that
Yeah.
long, but
Well, sometimes they got to put you back together.
yes,
Yeah.
this is true.
And at that point, the price changes a little bit to where you would be paying $352 a day.
Wow.
And this is where we're talking about a cash flow and the money going where you might
Out of
not,
your pocket.
Yeah. And if on that stuff, I mean, if I missed it, I apologize. It was you come to the hospital, $1,000 deductible, right out of the gate.
$1,408 deductible.
And then, but does that cover you? What if you have to come back again later on in the year? Is that another deductible hit, or is it just covered? Is that it for the year?
Because
Every-
your regular health insurance,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, once
know,
you mo-
Oh,
once you
no.
meet the
Oh,
deductible.
oh, no.
so you just
Oh,
had
no.
a really bad year where you had to go twice or 3 times the hospital. It's $1,000 or whatever hit.
That's a really good question, Steve.
Yeah.
Let's just say you had to go for a week.
Yeah.
They got you fixed up. You're ready to go
Everything
home.
fine.
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Another week goes by and you're back.
Mhm.
Got to go back because
Something happened.
things aren't so good. You would have to pay that $1,408 again.
So every time
That could be hit.
that
hit-
would hit the wallet pretty
yeah,
fast.
Pretty
That's
bad.
right. That is
Yeah.
absolutely right.
See?
Now I can shed some bright light on Part A real quick because it doesn't always need to be gloomy. There's no premium associated with Part A
Oh, okay.
if you have worked your 40 quarters.
Okay.
That money they've been pulling out of your paycheck, that's what covers your Part A.
So technically you've paid for it, but there's none additional money.
Right. No monthly premium associated with your Part A.
Gotcha.
And that was interesting. What if it's a spouse that hasn't worked 40 quarters and she had the hardest job in the world and was a homemaker?
She will be qualified under her spouse.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Kind of got similar with the Social Security stuff.
Right.
With
Mhm.
that, because sometimes they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go on to Part B.
Boy, this is a rabbit hole
I know.
topic.
I know.
We could
It's
go
It's
for
unraveling.
days.
It's unraveling.
Now, Part B is not free.
Okay.
They go off your adjusted gross income from 2 years ago. So if
From
you sold
2
a
years ago.
so if you sold a house 2 years ago and you had a influx of cash,
They're
They
going to
would-
go.
they're going to go off
Still
that
go
money.
off that AGI.
That's right.
Okay.
So not your job, but just what you brought in.
That's right.
Does it depend where you live also?
Oh man.
No, I think they look at the money that you're making.
Just the money
That
you're
is
making.
what they're looking at.
Okay.
So
To depend on how much that would cost.
that's right. Right now, if you make under 87,000,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be paying $144.60 a month.
All right then.
See, and this is the thing that's nice about it. This is why we have people like Brandon come on the show, because, and we get this a lot also in our practice, is, and we say this all the time,
Mm-hmm.
was, all these things have rules.
Right.
And nobody teaches you the rules, whether it's buying a house or, should I pay off a credit card right? Or how do I do this stuff? How do I get Medicare? They all have little rules on how to
Right.
navigate these things, and nobody teaches us how to, the rules to the game.
Right.
You learn the game as you play it, and usually
That's right.
that's an extremely expensive way to play.
So don't
with-
don't make extra money at
yeah.
age 63.
Yeah, without, and sometimes it's money that you can't reload, you can't
Right,
put back.
right.
And that's why we have people like Brandon that we can, bring on the show and talk and work together,
Mm-hmm.
combination.
Well, I'm a
Jeez.
Medicare specialist, so the first thing I try to do is to make that process just as simple as possible, step by step. And usually the first question they have is, when do you sign up?
Mm-hmm.
When do you sign up for Medicare?
That's right.
And there's actually a 7-month window that you get to sign up for your Medicare.
For the first time, right?
But when you're turning 65 and aging into Medicare, you have a 7-month window.
Okay.
That is 3 months prior to your birthday month, and 3 months after your birthday month. Now, with the current situation with the pandemic, things are not as steady as they once were,
Mhm.
with people not manning the locations. So there's only really 2 ways you can go about signing up. One is online and the other is by phone.
Really?
So the website is Medicare.gov.
Okay.
That's where you can go. It reroutes you into the Social Security website. The other way is to call. That's
Mhm.
1-800-Medicare. Those are the 2 ways that you can apply. And I would be very proactive and try to get ahead of the curve that way. You're in the system and things happen. I've had people apply 3 months prior to their birthday month, and it's a month after their birthday month, and they haven't received their card.
So 4 months later, they still haven't gotten
A
it.
little unpredictable right now.
Right.
Again,
Right.
I don't know if it got lost in the stack. There's just certain things that have been happening, but definitely try to be proactive and do it as soon as you can. Some people have gotten it a lot quicker. Used to, before the pandemic, it was right at 3 weeks,
Okay.
like clockwork. So
So now you got to bake that in your forecast in there that the government's going to be a little slower than what they were.
So does every 65-year-old have to have Medicare?
another good question. No, you could be still working
Okay.
on your employer's insurance. If that's the case, you would not be required to go on Medicare. As long as you have credible coverage, you do not have to go
Do you
on
have to
Medicare.
prove you have credible coverage?
Once you decide to go on Medicare,
Mm-hmm.
especially your Part B. Now, let me back up just a second. Now, there's no Part A premium. So even if you're on employer's insurance or spouse's insurance, I would still suggest signing up for your Part A.
Okay.
One, when you sign up, you're now in the system. They will assign you that Medicare number. Getting your Part B is a little bit quicker and not so much of a
Gotcha.
process once you're in the system. So,
But you would just decline B at that time.
that's right.
Okay.
And with no premium with Part A, it's no cost to you. It would be
Yeah.
a secondary to your insurance that you already have.
So
Okay.
Part A is hospital, and that's just to sign up, so you don't have to pay anything. It just is.
Mhm.
Part B, we haven't talked about all the components of that, but that one you do have to pay, and that's going to depend on how much money you made. But made means, like you said, if you sold a house, you made money. Because most people,
What's your AGI?
yeah, because most people hear how much money you made, they're going to be thinking, well, how much did I make working?
Correct.
That's right.
And it just like how much cash came into your hands, whether it was an inheritance, all of it, or does that count too?
Oh, anything that's on that line on your tax form,
It's going to count.
it's going to count.
And based on
from
that,
2 years ago.
for the past 2 years, and based on that, that'll determine how expensive or Part B is going to be.
That's right.
Okay.
Do you lock in at that point, or do they look
No.
like the next year will be 2 years before?
They will still adjust. They will
Okay.
adjust.
Well, that's good.
They will adjust.
'Cause I had a good year this year, and I'm
Well,
dead broke the following year. You
well,
never
I'm
know.
thinking 2 years ago, you might have already spent that money.
Exactly.
What about now? It's like,
Right.
hey, this isn't
Yeah,
the current.
what I
It's
made and
not
what
the
I
norm.
have. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
it's true.
So sometimes you can solve that with a phone call. There again, it might be a little bit harder to get that solved. A lot of times, just call the number 1-800-Medicare. Excellent number to get your questions answered directly. Sometimes there's a little bit of a wait.
No, really?
Yeah.
With the
Well,
government? You'd be ahead of the line.
You know, or you could call Brandon. A lot of times I can answer those questions. But sometimes when
Did you just talk about
specific-
yourself in the third party?
I did. I did.
Just call Brandon.
Just call Brandon. Just call Brandon.
So back to signing up, your Part B, having credible coverage, as long as you have credible coverage, you're good.
Okay.
Now once that coverage ceases, whether you quit working or that job went away or something, at this point, you would need to go ahead and apply for your Part B. And the Part B, again, it covers your doctors and your medical procedures. That's what that covers. And it's not free. Comes with
Okay.
a premium.
So that's doctors and procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Part A just gets you in the hospital. If you want something done, that you got to have a Part
That's
B.
right. You're going to need some B.
That's less like buying a car. Oh, you wanted an air conditioner with that. You wanted
Uh-huh.
you wanted wheels on that car.
And I love it
That's
that
a little extra.
that we're calling it Part A and Part B. There again, we're gonna talk about stuff that's confusing this Medicare business. They like using these P words. One's part and another's plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have it's how do you keep these things
Straight. Yeah.
Sure.
So
Well, then, okay. I bet there's a lot of people that are concerned if their doctors are going to be on Medicare when they switch.
that is usually a big deal. If you have quite a few doctors you like and you've been with them for a while, you'd kind of like to hang on to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually two options when you sign up for your Medicare when it comes to supplementing or helping with some of those costs. The first would be way of a supplement, sometimes known as a Medigap policy.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the other is your Part C, which is an Advantage plan.
Oh,
Now,
This is getting complicated.
I'm telling you, just hold on,
So-
buckle your
so-
seatbelt.
so A, as a hospital. B, oh, you want to see a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't see a doctor unless you have Part B. Oh, you want to
which costs
see
something.
which costs something. Oh, you want to see your doctor? Well, it's either a supplement or maybe Part C,
Medigap.
Medigap. Okay.
Supplement is wait,
that's-
Advantage plan.
There we go.
Wait, Advantage plan is C.
and everybody listen,
Supplement is I don't know.
It's just that
and-
quick. It could happen. And be,
and see for our audience, this is exactly why Gayle and I kind of refer these things out and work in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll be working on a financial plan, and this is what our wheelhouse is. And you run into that whole thing, jack of all trades, master of none. And then that's why you want a specialist to come in to say, here's all the nuances.
At a certain
to
point,
fit.
we can't know it all. So
No.
We have to have people like Brandon.
Yeah,
Oh my
to kind of
goodness.
fit those pieces together. So let's
lucky
talk
for
about
y'all.
Part C.
I'm here for you.
That's
All
right.
right.
Thank
I'm
you.
here for you.
Thank you. Don't leave now.
Well, I'm going to need help with okay.
Okay,
Supplements.
So not to switch too big a gear. So I threw in that Part C real quick
Right.
without you saying anything. So Part C is where you would surrender your Part A and your Part B, which is original Medicare,
Okay.
to the care of an insurance company.
Okay.
Okay, that is what your Part C is. Now your parts. Now we hadn't talked
But you have
about.
to pay for Part C's too, though, right? But then if you Do you have to decline A and B? How does that work?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. What'll happen is if you choose to go with Part C, the insurance company will provide your A and B coverage.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
I'm completely clear as mud.
So-
this is where you do the keep it simple, stupid.
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, we're just throwing
Keep it
word-
simple,
yeah,
stupid.
Yeah. Keep kissing.
Kiss,
keep
kiss,
kissing.
kiss.
Brandon, when a woman tells you to keep kissing, you don't stop. What are you thinking? Even if her
He's thinking-
husband's in the
yeah, I was
room.
gonna
I was
say,
about
he's
ready to
thinking
say,
Steve's sitting there.
as
Hey,
her
sorry.
husband's on the other side of the table.
You are a squid, so.
We don't.
Oh,
Non-veteran.
Now-
I'd say that.
now I will
Well, he did
slowly
serve
go
in a different
away.
capacity.
You see,
I did. In American Legion.
This is
Member of
true.
the American Legion.
Okay,
So I
okay,
support
you
my
get away with
veterans.
it.
Love my veterans.
He was
Okay.
a judge at one time, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't get judgy on me.
it's gonna happen. Marine, let's talk to him.
Well, yeah, talk to him. I know what that means. That means we're going to step outside. That's not a
go.
good sign. So at this time, I'm going to go away and let you talk about Medicare Part D, E, F, G, H, Q. Oh, my God, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Apple.
Now, JP, I'm not very good with words.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and step out of this so people can actually get something out of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with Part C, what would happen is the insurance company would pick up your Medicare benefits, your Part A and Part B. They
Okay.
would actually take over all that.
okay.
Now, there again, what about that Part B premium? Does that go away if I choose Part C? That's a no.
It doesn't.
It does not. Whether you go way of a supplement or you go way of an advantage plan,
Mm-hmm.
you would still have to pay your Part B premium.
All righty.
Clear as mud?
Yes.
Clear as mud.
So is it better to do an advantage plan?
Okay, whoever told both of you mud was clear?
Nobody. That's why
That's
that's
what it's
that's what
supposed
it's
to
supposed to be
mean.
about.
Oh, see, I'd have been in the Army.
Well, they don't have to have as they don't their ASMAT scores don't have to be as high.
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole different story. Sorry, Army, you know I'm telling the truth. Don't even start.
So okay. So if you get an advantage plan, do you have to can you also get Medigap, or I mean, like, how does this all, like you said Medigap earlier, right?
Uh-huh. Usually there's two options when you
Okay.
start looking on ways to work with your cost of Medicare. The first option would be the supplement
Okay.
or Medigap.
Okay,
Those
that's
are-
what
those
Medigap
are,
is.
Those are one
Okay.
and the same.
Okay,
Two different terms, same thing.
right.
So with a supplement, it would cover your cost for your Part A
Mm-hmm.
and your Part B minus Part B deductible. We went from Part B premium that you have to pay. Now
Right.
there's a Part B deductible.
Of course there is.
And that's with Medigap or
That's with the
supplement.
Medigap.
Yeah. Okay.
So the trick with your supplement is once you pay your Part B deductible, your supplement would then start picking up your cost, your 20%, because Medicare would cover 80% of your medical needs,
Mhm.
your doctors, and then you would be responsible for 20% of the hospital stay, the doctors, the procedures. You'd be owing 20%. The Medigap / supplement would pick up that 20% on Part A and Part B.
So how do you know which is better for you? Whether you go Advantage Plan or Medigap?
It's really kind of depends on,
The person, family.
definitely on the person. I want to say it's just like your
Yeah.
fingerprint.
Okay.
There's so many different ways to get to Denny's.
Yeah,
I mean,
But-
you're going to get there.
yeah.
The choices you make to get there, that's kind of what.
And that's kind
I'm
of the
just
guide that
laughing
you
at
can.
your Denny's. Like, where did that come from?
What's wrong with Denny's?
Well, you went from fingerprint to
Denny's,
driving to
yeah.
Denny's.
Well, it's breakfast time.
A grand slam.
Yeah.
Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity.
Well, it is.
That's
Oh, that's IHOP. It's still pancakes.
Brought to you by JP Captain the Crew Network.
Oh, sorry about that.
So
We are proud to carry the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Let me
That's
just tell you.
Absolutely.
Especially when Gayle's on.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's kind of expected, actually.
It's expected.
So it really just determines on situation,
Mhm.
why you look at things, what you're used to. There again, Medicare is different, and if you're not familiar with the way it works, there again, a lot of times people just kind of go with what's familiar to them. There again, I'm in a unique position to where I get an opportunity, hopefully, to make that a little bit clearer with the workshops.
Sure.
Right.
Workshops will get you exposed. A lot of times people are armed with questions.
Of course.
The other thing is when you're in there with a group,
Mm-hmm.
other people have different questions from you that you might not have thought about.
Right. Right.
So at that point, it kind of just accents. And what I found a lot of times in these workshops, you start writing things down. You say, oh yeah, and so you start writing it down. Well, what happens is I'm usually still talking while you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people because, as you know, Marine, if I'm writing, who knows if I'm listening?
Okay.
Well, you said it. I didn't.
I know.
I was thinking it.
I didn't want you to say it. so what I've found is even when usually I get another time to meet up with some people, there again, we're kind of going over the same thing. So really it starts making a lot clearer picture because if they may have missed it or maybe they're just getting repetitive and it's really sinking in. And there again, it kind of clears the picture.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Repetition's a good thing.
Yeah. And one of the things about your situation is, and we were talking about this a little bit before the show started, is that joy you get because these, it's kind of like our business. People come in, they got questions, they don't even know what to ask yet. They just know that they're very concerned because they need this, and they don't know how it fits. And the last thing you want to do is make a bad decision because we are talking about your family and your family's health and how they're going to be taken care of. And you can act as kind of a guide through this. And they're, not to get over Pollyannic about it, but, you do enjoy helping others through that process. And because that stress level will drop and they kind of have a clear picture on the best way, as you said, to get to Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what you meant when you said that because it really is important. But the other thing is because you do this over and over and you see this, you begin to see situations where, this is similar to this family or that family, and you bring that knowledge base, that experience base in order to help that person because in front of you. Because most of them, like some of our clients, they might try to just find information by asking their neighbor or going on the internet. It's just enough to be dangerous.
That's so common. So,
Yeah.
well, my neighbor has this, and they'll say,
Yeah.
company, and they like it. And then they have the next door neighbor on the other side. They have the opposite. Well, they're happy too. So,
Yeah.
so there
But
again, we're in the same boat. Which way do you go?
They both have different fingerprints.
That's right.
Exactly.
So the good news is there's people out there that can help.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go at it alone. A lot of times they come armed with specific questions. Usually once you start answering those questions, they get a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
Um,
Right.
We have a question.
Do you have a question?
There's a
Scott
question.
JP.
I have a question.
Sure.
So my dad's getting ready to retire. All right. And he has found out that he is going to get to keep his health insurance. So he's going to pay what he paid as an employee, the same amount. How does all of this help him?
That's a good question, JP.
I mean, we're talking about it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm asking this
exactly.
because if I'm a regular Joe, which I'm a regular Joe,
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, I'm hearing all of this, but in the grand scheme of things, how is it beneficial to him?
A lot of times, there again, a lot of people like to say, "Does that make sense?" And Steve and Gayle's area of expertise, they're probably saying, "Does it make dollars or take dollars?"
Mhm.
And usually, in that circumstance or situation, you would kind of want to see what's it costing, because those are usually the things first two things. Those are the priorities: is what is it going to cost? What am I getting for what I'm paying for? What's it
Right.
cover?
And does it cover
And
what
at
you
that
need to?
point, you just do the comparison. What's it costing for your health care a year with your employer? Is it better to go on Medicare? At that point, it would be, if you have those numbers, if you're armed with that cost, it's real simple to kind of give you an idea on what it would cost, say, with a supplement.
Right.
Mhm.
Advantage plans work a little bit different. they don't have a deductible. They have copays. So when you start using it, you start paying copays because some of those Advantage plans have a 0 monthly premium, so it wouldn't cost you anything. So it's a little bit tricky to budget for.
There we go.
Another one.
Well, I got a follow-up question to that then, right?
Absolutely.
So do I have to? So will my dad have to give up his United Healthcare insurance to be able to get a supplement or an Advantage plan, or can he keep his private insurance, or does that behoove him?
It would be one or the other. He would either need to go ahead and keep his employer's insurance, because a lot of people didn't know. Well, I wanted to sign up for the supplement because it sounded good, and they signed up for it, but it automatically kicked them out of their employer's insurance. So you really need to be careful when making those kind of decisions to make sure you're not canceling out what you already have by choosing something else.
Another question.
Another question.
Follow-up question.
And you see, and I'm glad you're asking, because this is exactly why this is so important. To kind of go through these steps.
And this is what happens at his seminars when he's doing the workshops.
So what age can I be to qualify for Medicare? Like, I'm 48. I don't have any health insurance because Collin County decided that, the county judge decided to make it a conservative versus liberal type of thing, and he dropped the insurance for retirees. And so do I qualify for it?
You qualify for Medicare when you turn 65, or if something tragic happens and you become disabled 24 months after that disability, you can go on Medicare.
At any age?
At any age.
Okay.
As long as
If
you're
you have that
disabled.
disability for more than 2 years, you're automatically qualified to go on Medicare.
So if you really need it, we could, you don't disable yourself, JP. Don't.
Yeah, I won't join the Navy.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
They got free health care.
Yeah, but then I become disabled for life.
There we go.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. Well, there's an easy comeback on that,
What is that?
Well, that's because we carry the Marines on our back.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
We always need a ride.
You always need a ride.
And they got big boats to carry all our stuff.
Do.
They do have big boats.
And they cannot lie.
Yeah. Okay, we've digressed. Now I'm waiting for big butts to come out of her mouth next.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
I don't think he trusts me.
Do we have that music playing ready?
Yeah, we
go. Get a little bumper music
Not
on
legally.
that one?
Not legally.
Not legally.
No, not legally. Yeah, I think the Maniacs have heard enough.
Yeah, we've heard that.
I think so, yeah.
Our maniacs love me, just so you know. So, the importance of working with
And the feed is blowing up.
you, an independent, versus somebody that works just for a particular company.
You can definitely set an appointment face to face with me,
Okay.
whether it's at the office or if we meet in a public location or in your home.
Okay.
Whatever's comfortable to you. I really enjoy the office is probably my favorite.
Sure.
One because there again we have the giant TV on the screen that you can look at exactly what I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that just offers transparency. On the phone, I can throw numbers. Anybody can just throw numbers, plans. Let me confuse you with the alphabet.
Sure.
Right.
And there again, are you really confident in what you're choosing?
Okay. So
And
you're going to be there to make sure that they're tailoring their plan exactly to their thumbprint.
That's right.
Their thumbprint.
What's their needs?
And-
what's important to them?
And one of the
Right.
things, like what JP just said, the question was, is it better for his dad? And these are very serious questions. Do you kind of help somebody go through that, as close as possible, go to apples comparison so they know, should they stay on their order plan or kind of transition off? Because this might be, you might get the same kind of coverage, a better bang for your buck by leaving an employer plan. They just didn't know.
You kind of take first steps, first things first. The first
Sure.
thing is it obviously what's it going to cost?
Mm-hmm.
Usually that comes
Starting it.
especially if you already have coverage, you're comfortable and you're happy with it. Here's another option, this Medicare thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better for me to leave what I have and go here? There again, the first thing is usually, does it make sense?
Yeah, financial.
Or does it save me dollars?
Yeah.
Right.
And once you kind of get past that, then you dive a little bit deeper if it seems like Medicare might be a little bit more viable option.
Okay.
And at that point, you kind of look a little bit more of what kind of care you're receiving, what it costs you, and at that point you can kind of look at things that are obviously I would want to beat what you're paying.
Sure.
And the coverage that you're getting at least the same or better.
Right.
And as an independent, you have more than one company that you can use.
That's right.
Whereas, that's why kind of we work with people like that, because sometimes it's your toolbox is just bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
you
all
more
these,
to pick from.
you got more to pick from.
To me, that's
and
that's
these companies compete for business.
That's right.
And so and you just can kind of look at somebody and say, well, for you, this one over here is the best choice. And, because that could change every year, I'm assuming.
They do. They do.
Yep. They change every year. And
Question.
we have another question.
So you both are veterans,
Mhm.
right?
Last I checked.
And let's say that one of you is disabled, one of you is not disabled, and you have VA medical benefits.
I'm Navy, so I'm disabled. That's
well,
the
that's
theme
just a
today.
given.
That's just given.
Yeah.
So. Now we go percentage of disability.
Right. So, but my question is, do you face that same question with your VA benefits? Do you have those same options? Do you lose your VA benefits if you go with Medicare, or is Medicare, because it's federal, is it already a part of your VA benefits? How does that work? Because okay, Steve, so you're, let's say, partially disabled from the Navy, right?
Okay.
Because you did some really cool stuff when you were in the Navy.
Yeah, but it was, well, we'll leave that. It was.
Right. Just really cool stuff.
Was it in my medical record?
Right.
That's
But I
a
mean,
whole different thing.
Do you qualify right now for Medicare? Are you on it? Does it supplement your VA benefits? How does all that work if I'm a veteran? Because we're going to have veterans that may go back
Sure.
and watch this show from our November 11th telethon that we're going to have on the network. And, you may tell them, hey, we had our Medicare specialist come on. And so all of you that are in the VA and all of you that aren't with DAV, go back and watch November, what is it? What is today? Today
11th.
is the 4th. Today's the 4th. So November 4th show to catch all of that. I don't know.
Well, from my understanding, this is, and then you come off this is how many years did you serve to qualify for VA? To be able to walk into the VA.
That's it. Is what
Yeah.
level of benefits?
Yeah,
are you
what levels
entitled
of
to?
benefit? Like if you have a career person that put their whole 20, 25 years in the military, they're going to have full walk into the VA, walk into any military base, those kind of things. Then you have people that served, maybe 4 years or, combination of 8 years. And then they're going to look at each one to see how long did you serve to determine to how much of the benefits you would potentially be eligible for, whether it's VA or those other things. Wouldn't you agree?
That's right.
And then when you talk about disabilities with the military, it gets a little bit, as with everything, was that in your medical record? Because I don't know about you, but every time I had an aching pain, they just gave me Motrin. Motrin.
800 milligrams.
800 milligrams of Motrin. Oh, you got a dislocated arm? Motrin.
Yeah.
You'd get back out there. Oh, yeah.
Light duty, what?
You light duty what?
Well, and I was
you
just
burned,
curious
you burned
because
800 milligrams of Motrin.
I think there's a lot of assumptions that are made.
Exactly.
When you come out of government service like that, or the
Right.
military service. And I know that even though there's a resource center on every base, and because I've got a
Sure.
buddy that served 25 years as a Green Beret,
Right.
and he was out of Fort Campbell in Kentucky.
Now he's going to be eligible. He should be eligible for everything.
So so I didn't know, and I know he's going to listen to the
Right.
show. When I tell him on the 11th, they go back and listen to the show on the 5th.
Yeah.
By the way, not enough coffee. Today is the 5th of November. Then I know that he's going to listen.
Right.
And they don't do a great job of what I have learned from my buddies in the service is that they know they're exiting, let's say 6 months in advance, 8 months in advance.
Right.
They go to the resource center 2 weeks before
That's about right.
they're leaving out. And then you
Here's your
get,
booklet.
yeah. And
It's kind of like, thank you for your service. There's the door.
yeah. And so it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I know that some of these guys and gals, they get what they get, and some of them don't ever understand what they're supposed to be getting. So I was just curious.
Well, yeah.
That's interesting. I get
There we go.
questions
We're
like that
Yeah.
quite often.
No, it's actually a great question.
It is, and it's there again. It's kind of like a fingerprint on
Yeah.
what level of benefits they have, what they're getting. They do have options. They do have options. Some of my clients have full VA benefits, but you know what? I have a spouse that say I want them to be as insured as they can.
Right.
Well, Advantage plans, when you have a 0 monthly premium and it doesn't affect your VA, your TRICARE, or any of your VA benefits, all that would do is allow you to go out in town and see a doctor out in town.
So I have another question. You know, they passed a law back in the day, well, 2 terms ago, that if you weren't able to get into the VA, or if a VA wasn't so close to you, you could go to a private doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Am I getting that right? I mean, I know it's way big and broad, but that was my understanding.
Yes.
Do you need Medicare benefits for that? Do you need a supplement to go see a private doctor with your VA benefits?
Excellent question. I want to say it depends on the agreements that were made. A lot of times it'll get real confusing.
No, it does.
Yeah.
And sometimes, JP, what each generation of military, like sometimes it's not a blanket, everybody gets the same benefits. You know, for someone that served maybe in the Vietnam era would be eligible for different benefits than somebody that served during the Desert Storm era, that served during, the Iraq conflict. And so they kind of break that down. It gets just like there's a sub-paragraph on all this stuff, on how they go. Wouldn't you agree?
That's right.
I could talk to a buddy that, no buddy, but somebody that I met that came from a different era, and the benefits that they're receiving would be different than what maybe you and I would be eligible for.
Mm-hmm.
So should the Maniacs direct their friends and stuff to contact Brandon on this kind of stuff then?
Yeah.
If you have a question,
Yeah.
The good news is if I don't have the answer, I know somebody that does.
Yeah.
Or I know the numbers to call.
How do we get a hold of Brandon again?
Brandon, you can contact by dialing 940-781-0359.
That's 940-781-0359.
Niner.
Niner.
I know, almost did it. We were
And
talking about that.
his website is needhelpwithmedicare.com. If you want to go see what workshops are available, you can go attend one of his workshops.
Yeah. I'll feed you too.
Yeah, he'll feed you too.
I'll feed you too.
Even better.
So we didn't go through D yet. Medicare Part
she just
D.
keeps coming
I know.
with this
I mean, we
alphabet.
just...
I know. I'm in alphabet soup.
Yep. WXYZ's on the part too.
Yep.
So Part D, Steve asked what Part A was. Part A cover? What's Part B
Yeah,
cover? We
you
talked
start
about
going through all these
hospital.
things.
We talked about your doctors.
Mm-hmm.
That's your Part A and Part B. Then we talked about Part C, which is, that's Part A and Part B together, provided by the insurance company. And now we're talking about Part D. Well, Part D is your prescription drug. There again, that's not original Medicare.
Okay.
So
That's something you pay for?
that's something you would have to pay for.
And then
So D for drugs.
D for drugs. That's right.
Okay.
That's
an
right.
easy
then-
way to remember it.
so all medications that you're on will be covered.
I wish it was that simple. No, I can honestly say some drugs are not on the formulary. It's just interesting. It's not a rule of thumb where I can say this, and this. They change every year.
Interesting.
So it's not this is the best policy you need. This will cover it. That's not true. These plans are a little bit different than what you're used to, or what we're used to in insurance under 65. The Part D is where you have your pharmacies that you like to get your drugs from.
Mm-hmm.
You have a prescription drug plan, the plan,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the drug manufacturers. So you have the pharmacies that have agreements with the plans.
Okay.
And then the pharmacies have agreements with the drug manufacturers.
Okay.
If you notice, those pharmacies usually have different names on them.
Right.
That's true.
Same with the plans.
Okay.
So you have a lot of different moving parts on what you're going to pay.
This is why you need help.
And
Depending on where you're going. I mean, we get crazy.
This is why you
Wow.
need the guidance. This is
Wow.
exactly why. And I hope people have learned something as they listen to this, where you just
Because
hear
you could
this
be
little-
prescribed a prescription that is super expensive, and if it's not covered,
That's right. The good news is Medicare.gov
mm-hmm.
has a wonderful tool that I use every day to put in people's drugs that they take.
Mhm.
And it tells you what the best Medicare prescription drug
Oh,
plan
that's a
is for
relief.
you. So I use that, but there again, I remember the first time I used that. It's like sorting spaghetti. It's like, what does this mean? And the bunch of
I love
numbers.
his things, the thumbprint, sorting spaghetti,
Denny's.
not IHOP.
No, you brought it up.
Well,
Yeah,
we are talking about Medicare, right?
That's right. Mhm.
Right. If not, we're going to at least have some food after this.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm. It's still morning. I'm hungry as you talk about.
Well, you had such a workout this morning
No.
that you probably are starving now.
You got guys. She and I actually went to the gym. Just gonna put on that.
Yeah,
one.
you went to the gym.
Yeah, you were talking about workout.
That's exactly
I
right.
want to make sure we don't go a different route.
You're the one with the
No, I wasn't doing it this time.
Uh-huh.
No, I
Dirty
wasn't.
brain.
I'm not talking that. I'm not going
got
there.
a dirty mind.
I'm not doing that. Good morning.
Well, you are married.
Well-
I mean, so it does work
But
if
he
you
had to-
do.
He had
Yeah.
to put it out there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
We have a guest today on the show. let's not. Let's get back to
Make him oogie.
Yeah, that's not going. Anyway, Brandon, let's back to you.
Yeah.
As a nice transition.
Well, drugs
Yeah.
came into the equation.
drugs can come into the equation. Good morning, everybody.
Rise and shine.
So the part about the prescription drugs, the tool on the Medicare.gov, when you look at those, there again, it'll tell you which pharmacies are covering these drugs, what they're charging for them, and what your cost would be. I like to help people kind of explain those things because there again, there's a deductible that comes with prescription drug plans. And for 2020, it is $435 is the drug deductible for all tier 3 medication and above. So if you're taking 3 tier 3 and above medications, you would be paying a $435 deductible for each of those.
For the year or each time?
For the year.
For the year.
Drug plans are good from January 1 through December 31st.
Okay.
So when you start looking at those numbers, it can get real pricey real
that's
quick.
Yeah.
1,600 plus.
Yeah, and this is part of, like, again, with Gayle and I as financial planners with our client, it's all about cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it going? And then, what are the, things that we need? Without a doubt, we need to cover these things. And how
Right.
does that work?
Right.
And carrying that through not just this year, but the year after and the year after and the year after. And I'm sure those prices aren't going to stay the same.
Well, it's a
They're gonna
government
go up.
agency.
Yeah.
What do? They love to change this
Yeah,
stuff
they love this stuff.
every
And
year.
you got to keep up on it every year.
Every year.
Okay, so
tests.
when you first sign up, you said you have 7 months, right? And then say you decide you're going to go with an Advantage plan. Can you, like, the next year decide, you know what, now I want to go with a Medigap plan?
That's a fantastic question. Let me just back up just a little bit before I answer that. When you age into Medicare, you actually have the opportunity to sign up for a supplement or Medigap plan without having to go through any underwriting or answering any health questions.
Okay.
So you would be getting a preferred rate
Okay.
for your Medigap or supplement policy.
Okay.
But that's a one-time deal. You have within the first 6 months to sign up for one of those with that guaranteed issue.
Okay.
Now, if you decided an Advantage plan would work best for your situation and it would give you all the needs and care that you would like,
Mm-hmm.
you would have a 1-year trial period with the Advantage plan. Say if it didn't work out and you didn't like it, you would have, within that year, you could go back to original Medicare and still get the guaranteed issue. Now,
Okay. So you have 1 year. Okay.
So to answer your question specifically,
Mm-hmm.
next year I picked an Advantage plan. Can you go back to
The Medigap.
the Medigap?
Mm-hmm.
If you do it within that year, you can with no underwriting questions. Now, if you can go through underwriting and answer all their health questions, yes, you can. You can change.
So what would have to happen for them to say, no, you can't? Like what kind of medical stuff?
We're going to talk about insurance companies. Sometimes, you really have to have a clean bill of health.
Okay.
They're
kinda
going to
switch back
go
and
through
forth.
your medical history,
Sure.
no telling how far back they're going to go.
Okay.
They're going to look at the prescriptions you're taking,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times they could deny you.
Really?
So if they deny you, what's your you're saying, well, what's my option?
No kidding.
Right.
Well,
That's good.
the good news with an Advantage plan is they will never ask you any health questions. You can always get an Advantage plan. And the other good thing about Advantage plans is very competitive market here in Dallas metro area. You can change every year.
Mm-hmm.
You get an opportunity every year. Right now, we're in the annual enrollment period,
Okay.
which is where you can look at the new plans that are going to be offered for 2021.
Right.
So if you don't like the plan you have, or you're thinking, is there something better that came out, this is the time you get to look and maybe choose a different plan for the upcoming year.
And this is what you do for your clients. They might come back the following year and you say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we were on this plan this year, but this other company, because they're competing for your business, the quality's still there,
Mm-hmm.
but just maybe a little bit less expensive.
That's right.
And you come back and kind of guide them through that process all over again.
That's right.
'Cause maybe something changed.
That's right. No,
Yeah.
now
And that's the one thing for us. It's not just about price, what's cheaper, because
No.
sometimes you get
Mhm.
what you pay for.
no, you want, I like to get the best for the least.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then there's no you know what? That's a pre-existing condition. We're not going to cover that.
With an Advantage plan, they can't ask you any health questions.
Okay.
Now with supplement, a little bit different. After your guaranteed issue, once you pick, say you went with a supplement first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of companies out there selling supplements. Supplements are federally regulated, so they cover exactly the same thing. There's no difference. So you are comparing apples to apples. The only thing that's going to be different with a supplement is the premium you're paying
Okay.
and the company you're sending that premium to.
So they're all covering the same stuff. They're
That's
just
right.
all different prices.
Yep, just like your gas stations. You know?
Okay. Oh, yeah. You can,
And with Medigap, you still have what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Well, with your supplement or Medigap,
Mm-hmm.
it supplements your Part A and Part B.
Right.
Your Part D, you would have to still get a standalone drug plan,
Okay.
or if you have VA benefits,
Mm-hmm.
you could get your drugs through the VA. That's credible drug coverage.
Okay.
Supplement will only supplement what Medicare Part A and Part B covers. And if you notice, there's not any drugs in there. It's just hospital, doctors, and their procedures.
Medical procedures. Okay. So then drugs, and then isn't there a G in there somewhere? I thought there was like a.
Oh,
Yeah.
shifting
we're gonna
gears.
have
The
to-
other,
we're gonna
the
have
other-
to-
Really?
We might have to bring
Really?
What?
I give you the 5-minute look, and you're
And
you're
you-
going to dive into
you'll-
G.
This is why we bring Brandon back.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, fine.
But
the other P word.
But the biggest thing about today's show is that it's not done on purpose, but
Right.
this stuff can get confusing.
It can.
And other than the fact that this is how you're going to cover the health care of your family, no pressure.
Right.
It's a serious question. And
It is.
It's very important because
Yeah.
there again, we're not looking for just the next month
Right.
Right.
or the next year. You guys are planning out how far in advance?
We
Till age 100.
Yeah, age 100 because we're just living longer.
That's right.
We
Right.
just are.
35 years, right? So
Mhm.
so we got to look a little bit
Yeah.
more than this month or next
Right,
year
right.
or 10 years.
So y'all, if you need to get a hold of Brandon, it's Brandon Hager with Sherman R. Ross and Associates. Need help with Medicare.com, 940-781-0359.
That's 940-781-0359. And one of the things that we did talk about this, Brandon, is there's people out there that give you answers when they really don't know how to answer. They make up the answer. And that's one thing that we do like about Brandon, and we know him well, is that if you don't know the answer, you're going to find out.
Right.
I love being challenged.
Yeah, you're
And-
not going to be making something up that.
And it happens quite often
It
that
does.
people have these situations I just
Mhm.
hadn't heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So
So he is the man
He
with the
is,
plan.
and I really want to thank you
with
for
the
coming.
parts.
Yep.
The parts and the plans.
parts and the plans.
The parts and the plans.
Get the parts together to make
You
the plan.
really did not go there, right?
You have a dirty mind because I didn't
I
think
do
of it that
not
way.
have a dirty mind. Oh,
Oh,
Lordy.
please, I know you.
Ouch. Boy, now I just joined the Navy.
You did. Welcome aboard.
Oh, goodness.
But
Well,
really,
we'll see you
sincerely.
next Thursday. Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us
thank you
today.
for coming.
Me,
It was a
Steve,
pleasure.
Gayle. Thank you
Can't
so
wait to
much.
see you again. So for next week,
another special guest.
Another special guest.
Yes.
Yeah. But thanks for tuning in today.
Yes, and we will see you in 1 week.
Mm-hmm. And then if there's any questions that you guys have, just put it on the feed and we'll get them over to Brandon. If there's any questions for us financially beyond the scope of what we talked about today, you know, we do our best to answer.
Welcome.
Always
yeah,
welcome.
Always welcome to
send the questions in. We'll do our best to answer them. But thanks for tuning in.
Advisory services are offered by Interlinc Financial Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor in the state of Texas. Insurance products and services are offered through Texas Family Insurance, Inc., an affiliated company. Examples shown are for illustrative purposes only and are not recommendations or solicitations of any specific investment product or strategy. Brought to you by JP Cathy and the Crew Network right here at JPKC Network every Thursday at 7:30 a.m. Have a blessed day from the network and say goodbye to the Money Maniacs.
See you next week.